Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a James with no regard for human life. Final seconds. Bryant for the win. Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sneaker History Podcast. He's Mike. I'm Robbie. It took us 2 tries to get that right, but I hope everybody's having a good time. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. Just tired, utilizing that Sneaker History Run Club and just knock down 3 miles.
I need to be better about posting to that because I'm such a mess after I run that the last thing I'm thinking about is, snapping a pic. Is that what people used to say? Taking a selfie?
I don't take a selfie. I'll look like someone just shot me if I do it there.
Looks like someone had put you in a tub of water and pulled you up.
Yeah, I was like, nah. We're just gonna go ahead and I take a picture of the run itself, like on a little Nike app. Like, hey, I did this today, guys.
We need to get you some new shoes though, because if you're still running in Zoom flies after all this time,
dude, I got over 50 miles on them right now, and that's not counting stuff I never tracked. So this is like 50 track miles. So it might be time for a new pair.
You know, you're always looking at steals. You're looking at all these shoes on StockX and Go, and then pretty much anywhere you can look.
Oh,
but don't forget, there's less than $50 good runners out there. You can find a good pair of runners.
Oh, yeah. There's a Pegasus 36 I'm kind of eyeing right now. I can't remember where it was. It was either – might have been SNS or it was somewhere, and it was like $60. So really, it might happen.
You got to, man. It's a good shoe.
Oh, yeah.
I've been using the Ons nonstop, and it's funny because I said I would never wear them, and now all I run in are On. But here's what's crazy about brand power, and most of our episode's going to be about Nike. You know, no big surprise, but the power of brand recognition. So On has their clothing, let's say a men's short, a running technical short, they're like $80 or $60, which is a lot of money for a pair of shorts, right? Yeah. But Nike sells shorts for freaking, you can very easily get up to like the $75, $80, $100 gym short from them. And you don't really think that hard about it because it's Nike. Isn't that wild?
It is, but you know what? I guess it is crazy, but I will never buy like shorts that are expensive. All my Nike running shorts I get, I definitely go to outlet. I'm like, hey, y'all got, is it 20% off? They're already on sale. Cool. Now I buy them for like $30 because, yeah, like you get the Tech Fleece stuff. I mean, it's so hard to justify a pair of, $60+ shorts.
It is. On's been taking really good care of me though, so I feel like I need to go buy the shorts because I feel like a buster running with like, you don't ever feel as right as you should when you have a pair of like, when you're not gear specific, when you're not on brand, so to say.
Oh man, I'm so off brand when I run. Today I had, the Zoom Flies on with the pair of Adidas socks. Was it Nike shorts and an Under Armour shirt? I look like I jumped in a lost and found bin.
To our listeners out there, are you still playing the heavy sides where it's like, you'll fight somebody for wearing Adidas shorts with Nikes? Let us know, because when it comes to like getting a fit off, I definitely don't mix and match.
Oh,
when
no.
it comes to
him,
it's whatever. It's whatever's clean. I hate doing laundry.
Yeah, dude. Like I'm a hobo in a gym. I'm cool with that. But if I'm going somewhere, I like to keep it brand specific. Unless it's no-show socks, then it's all bets are off.
Right, man. It's whatever. It's whatever's easy. So Let us know, listeners. And speaking of our listeners, we've had so many people leave reviews. To be very specific, 100 reviews. We finally hit the 100 review mark. So that's awesome. I wonder how fast we can get to 200. But thank you to all 100 people who took the time to go onto Apple Podcasts and do that for us.
Yeah, y'all are awesome. Appreciate that, especially with everybody being stuck at home. We appreciate y'all still listening.
Exactly. So we're a couple behind. So in our third to the most recent or fourth to the most recent, we'll call it number 96. It's the homie Dallas. He actually works at Index Portland out here. If you're looking to buy shoes right now, stay off the StockX. Go buy from Index. Go buy from local places. Ooh. But he left a very clean and simple review. Great podcast, and always have fun listening to. I mean, that's what we do it for. So if you're not having fun, don't listen. But we appreciate each and every listener on whatever you're hearing us on right now. We're non-discriminate when it comes to listening, but if you could take the time to go to the Apple Podcasts and leave a review, it would be killer.
Yeah. If you write us a good enough review, we'll actually just do a live podcast over your phones. We'll just call you and just talk. It's cool.
That'd be dope. So we spoke a little bit about running shoes. You're in some old-ass Nikes we need to replace. I'm in various On running shoes. I think we'll skip what we've been rocking outside of that because it's not like we're really trying to. Other than we're both recent acquirees of some Olympic Air More Up tempos.
Yes, I gotta say shout out to my guys over at Active Athlete for let me know when they were going to drop. So appreciate it. Glad we can support the store.
You always got to support where you can. So speaking of support, we're going to jump right in. This is our first real episode of May. So we're just going to go over some May releases. For the most part, it's Jordan brand outside of the LeBrons that drop this Saturday, which I hope nobody buys so I can cop 2 per. That's the shit, man. I haven't been so hyped I've been super stoked on every LeBron retro. Don't get that twisted. But like this, the hype for a LeBron shoe hasn't been like this since like the Kith joints, maybe.
Yeah.
The 15s. And the LeBron watch did have a lot of fanfare to it, and a lot of people enjoy those. So those are super dope. And those got some attention. But this Media Day Laker-esque LeBron 7 retro is just the sauce. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. And to go on your point about the LeBron just being like, man, we're just really hyped up for him. So LeBron watch we're hyped up and we didn't know what was coming. This one, we've been sitting there watching it like, oh, it's on the sneakers app. Can't wait to this day. Like, I haven't seen that one with LeBron for a long time. And that's cool.
And I know we've talked about PEs in the past, and, it's always a special moment when we get to wear what feels exclusive, because we saw LeBron wear it back in October, September, whenever Media Day was.
Yeah.
It feels like 10 years ago. But to get our hands on that after, seeing on every sneaker blog, ourselves included, and being like, damn, those are heat. And finally getting the opportunity to buy a pair is something really cool. Speaking of opportunities, I think, the biggest release so far in May has got to be those Jordan 5s, which I see very competitively priced.
Yeah. Both
on StockX and on board, and places like, Index has pairs, and pretty much a lot of the retail shops are selling them for about $50 over retail. Mm-hmm. But in like the 2 weeks since the release, I think we've seen 4 different restocks, at least 3 to 4 different restocks of them already.
Yeah. It could just be, this is me just taking shots in the dark here, but it could be because a lot of stores aren't open. They had enough back stock to just go ahead and just keep restocking them online. That's my thought. But the same can be said about the DMP 6s. As soon as they came out, I swear I've seen, I think 4 to 5 restocks in just various stores now. And same as the Fire Red 5s, they're pretty competitively priced everywhere. They're not too much above retail. It's typically between $30 and $50 over retail right now.
I know I can't be the only person, and I'm sure you agree, Mike, that you always hear about those restocks like 45 minutes, an hour 15. It could even be 6 minutes, whatever arbitrary number it is. You always just miss them, but it's cool to see that they're happening.
Yeah. Finish Line restocked the DMP 6 on the second week of episodes of The Last Dance. So I guess, episodes 3 and 4. Had my phone in my hand, got the notification, and as soon as I clicked on the app, please wait in line. We just dropped a hot shoe, and we were busier than normal. I'm like, but I clicked it as soon as you gave it to me.
But I was here.
I was here first.
It's like ordering a hot dog at a hot dog stand and everybody else getting food other than you. It's like, man.
Yeah. What's up? But I guess it just wasn't meant to be. So, I'm cool with it. I wasn't really – I love both shoes, but I originally wasn't heartbroken not to get either one just yet.
Speaking of food, Jordan Brand's been eating with like some new models. So it's like this Delta SP that released. We're recording on Thursday night, so released this morning. But it's the second or third colorway now. I think it's the second that's dropped.
It's the Fashetta tan, and it is clean.
That's a good looking shoe, man. I like to see that shoe keep releasing over and over and over again.
Well, it's supposed to be floating around for a while, so they're dropping them a little bit at a time. Like the first colorway, that sale color, was only on the sneakers app and it's sold out. This one's going to be a wider release, and there's a black pair coming out soon. So I think it's building up to be something, and I want to kind of bide my time. I know it sounds kind of silly, but I think this one's going to – it has traction. It's going to sell well, I think, if the first one's an indication. But I think they're going to be able to sit on sale, man. Me and you always talk about that. Can we wait to find it on sale?
I mean this in a good way, but it reminds me of like a Puma, like technical casual shoe, like a technical looking casual shoe. And Jordan Brand really nailed that. It has like a flavor of something more sporty, but it's still very approachable. And then we have, 5 different releases of Jordan 4s. We got orange, we got purple, we got green, we got red. I said purple twice, but that's cool. I'm about to say
2 purple ones.
But those are allegedly going to be more difficult to get than was expected. Am I right?
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. Been kind of, nothing else to do, but I've just kind of been keeping my ear to the ground on those. I really like the metallic pack of the ones, and when I saw these pop up, I'm like, yeah, this is a must. But I've been hearing that this might be a little bit more difficult than we are thinking. Hopefully it's not the case. And there's also a rumor I heard. Take it for what it is, a rumor. This might be just regionalized per color. So, maybe only parts of the world are getting this color, so on and so forth. Or certain stores are getting this. So I'm not too sure. Clearly it's a wait and see for everybody. But I think the purple may be the easiest to get, which is still going to be hard from, again, what I've heard.
That shit makes me so happy. I like when shoes get regional releases. I can only really think of the Jordan 19 off the top of my head.
Easy.
But, oh yeah, duh. Well, there's so many of those now.
They all look alike anyway. It's fine.
Well, no, that makes me so happy. And they're really good looking shoes. They're super basic, which I think is more and more the style. Just a little butthurt because I was really hoping these would sit on Nike.com so I could have a friend buy them for me. Somewhere to buy them off like their swoosh account for me.
Yeah,
but you can't have everything, and that's okay. Now, speaking of just the need of wanting to have everything, we round the month out with the Flint 13, a shoe that has had me going back and forth more than running laps. It's like, I love it. Like looking at the shoe, I've always loved that Flint 13. I think 2010 was the last retro of them.
Yeah, correct.
And it was 2010 and 98. There really wasn't one in that middle area. If I remember correctly.
Or is it, there's not one in 04? No, I think you might be right. I can't remember.
I think it's only the third retro. And I mean, it's such a good looking shoe. The gray with the blue just looks, I'm making the chef kiss now. But I just know I don't like wearing 13s. I've said this a million times. I'm going to buy them. They're going to sit dead stock because I normally let GR Jordans sit for a couple months. I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to wear them one time and be like, all right, this was fun, and probably get rid of them.
See, I haven't owned a 13 yet. I really want them, and I'm looking like, man, I'm probably going to end up pulling the trigger on them. And see, I'm the opposite. I get it, I'm a wearer, but clearly I'm going to wear it to like the mailbox and then back because I'm still not going anywhere.
Stay home. But yeah, it's just any 13 owner knows what the toe box ends up looking like after not that much wear. And I've fallen victim to that too. It's just, I don't know, man. Like I think more and more I don't like wearing high tops outside of, or is this a high top or is it a 3/4? It's
kind of both, like the lateral sides of mid, the medial sides of high.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a high since there's a low version of it. Let's just say that there's an opposite to everything in life. But it's just I don't like wearing, like, especially in the summertime. Like I don't like wearing high socks anymore with high tops. Like that's not my steez anymore. So it's tougher.
You want no hot ankles, huh?
Life's really tough, right? Like, will I not buy these Flint 13s?
Well, there's also a dunk coming out. You got the Brazil dunk that is coming out on the 21st, so next Thursday, one of those 2 days. It's a pack of 3, so they're going to come out, I think, once a month or once every couple of weeks now.
Yeah, there are 2 releasing in June.
Yeah, the Brazil's up first, and it's a nice color. I mean, I like to get in called a Baylor colorway, but other than that, I probably wouldn't wear it that much because green and yellow aren't just colors you just wear all the time.
It pops so hard, though.
It does. It's nice. I mean, I say that now, and then we'll talk, 2 weeks from now, and I bought it.
I prefer if you didn't, because I'm going to need you to enter sneakers raffles for me. For that. I thought about every one. I mean, like, all these new dunks they're releasing, I haven't gotten one of them just because I keep striking out, and I think paying $300, $400, $500 for a dunk is stupid.
Dude, they went up. Like, the resale on, like, the Plums and Biotechs, they were sitting, and the Kentuckys and Syracuse, they were all kind of leveled off about between $250, $275. They're all in the threes now. Like, people apparently became like rich over the last couple of months and just like buying shoes like crazy.
Did we become best friends because you read my mind? I was just say that because I want to say for 2 weeks straight I was looking on StockX at both the Syracuse and Kentucky's, but I just don't want to support StockX. Like, so I didn't buy them.
Yeah.
But now I look at it and it's like, God damn it, I can't even. And the second one of those shoes pop up again at a store that I like, I'm going to buy them. I don't care if they're $350. I'll give the money to somebody I appreciate. But with, I think we talked about it in the past episode, 2 facilities closed down now. I'm not trusting half-assing when it comes to
nothing from stock. I mean, I'll give them money and I get my shoes in October. I'm not about that life.
I mean, it's just something I really don't trust that much to begin with. And then when you add breakdowns in the chain, their internal chain of how they work, it's definitely a no-go for me.
No.
Now, that kind of segues us beautifully to our main topic of the day. I'm sure everybody listening has seen pictures of those god-awful 7-Eleven dunks and the better-looking Ben & Jerry dunks that look like what's it supposed to look like? Cowboy?
It's like the chunky monkey container. I made it up probably, but I thought it was supposed to like represent that particular container.
Ben & Jerry's super hyped, man. I think that shit's overhyped.
I never had it. Like I've never had a urge to. I live in Texas. I got Bluebell.
Bluebell is fire, but I'd rather have Talento. You know, that gelato stuff?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
We have Tillamook too, though. So regional ice cream's always better. But moral of the story is that there's some themed dunks coming out. The 7-Eleven isn't really – I still think those are faked, and it's just the longest troll that we've ever seen on Earth. I just don't believe that's a real shoe. I don't see why you would do a 7-Eleven collab, whatever. But it got us thinking about SB dunks of years gone that had really, really good inspiration or storytelling. There's a lot of ways you can break that down. The way I formulated this list was thinking of whether it's like a direct correlation, like the Ben & Jerry's, it looks like some pint, because Mike and I don't eat Ben & Jerry's, some pint on Earth, it looks like it. You could even go and think of something much more closer, like the Oompa Loompa dunk, right? It doesn't say Oompa Loompa on it, but we all know what it is. It's the Oompa Loompa dunk. That's kind of where I thought themed was going. Halloween, 4th of July, Valentine's Day. I consider holidays like that also a theme. I wasn't particularly going for a person. I took it more as like an inanimate object or a fictitious character, if that makes sense. So like a collab, like a Reese Forbes, for example. Like that's a collab. Like I get it's inspired by denim and it is denim and everything, but
I don't look at it and say, oh, that's Reese Forbes. Like I know what you mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's just start off with a really good, I like to call it a softball. This softball of an example. The Day of the Dead dunks from 2006. Those SBs, man, we've seen it on the Kyrie 4. I'm pretty sure we've seen it on other shoes. Air Force Ones. They had did Air Force One. But nothing quite did it better than the original dunk from 06, man. That's a shoe now that is just skyrocketed so hard. But to go into the Halloween season without being Halloween, a little bit ethnic, holiday to it. I just think, right? How do I phrase that?
Well, what are you looking for? I don't know what you're trying to say.
I don't mean that with a hair of negativity.
I thought it was hilarious, but that's just me.
You know what I mean? Like, there's been 4th of July dunks that are color blocked with red, white, blue. Super obvious.
Yeah.
Day of the Dead dunk, it's obvious, but it's understated too.
Yeah. I mean, because with a Day of the Dead dunk, I think that's one you can actually wear and not need to be Halloween, unlike the previous, last year, the Halloween dunk they had, the Night of Mischief. You can't wear that one and it's not Halloween. I like that one. I like that's a good choice.
What's one do you have?
Man, one I have, I guess I throw a softball myself here. This is kind of a cheat because it's a 2-pack. But this is a Space Jam in 2011, a low, and then a Concorde in 2013, also a low. I mean, it clearly is based on those two Jordan 11s, and it was crazy. Even back then, dunks were still kind of popular 2011, 2013, but definitely on a downturn. But because of that exact resemblance to those two Jordan 11s, sold out instantly. They didn't age well because that patent leather just gets gross, but a fresh pair looks so good.
I remember distinctly the Space Jam, and that thing. I mean, like you said, dunks weren't cool for a while, and those things just put a little spark in it.
Man,
They didn't release as a pack together to make that distinction, but I mean, it's the same vein. You can include the various J packs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's been Royal, there's been I almost said uppercase. There's been high top, there's been low top. You could even throw the Supreme elephant print from 2002 in there. That's directly inspired by the Jordan 3.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure, not pretty sure, I know for a fact, there was a Jordan 3 inspired dunk that wasn't SB. That had like a little like yellowed midsole to it, had elephant print. Kind of looked like a fat Jordan 1 low. But
I think I know what you're talking about.
Real deep cut there. But there's been a lot of instances where Jordan brand has inspired Nike SB. And I said this a million times, but there wouldn't be sneaker culture without Michael Jordan. So it's almost like low-hanging fruit to use, a popular bread colorway. Or even with the Air Max 90, they did a bread Air Max 90, and that was super, coveted and hyped. But without MJ, we wouldn't have any of these collabs if it wasn't for Michael Jordan making shoes cool as hell.
Yep. He's a catalyst.
Does everything, man. I mean, so another easy one, and it's definitely a catalyst, more specifically to SB, the Tiffany dunk from 05.
Good. I mean,
if you've never bought a girl anything, you don't know that the Tiffany back is a nice little baby blue with the silver. But I'll let you talk about it. That's the shoe.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know anything about SB dunks, you know the Tiffany dunk. And it's crazy. Like you say that they hit it right in the head. You can be walking down the street and someone's going to know, oh, I know that color. Even if they don't know the shoe itself, they're like, oh, it's a Tiffany color. That particular aqua color has just been like patented as that store's color and still coveted. I mean, even I missed out on the highs when they came out. So this is one of the ones every time I see Nick pull out, I'm like, bro, I wish you wore size 10. I'd buy them. I'll just give you all the shoes I have for.
Give you every shoe for that one
every
pair.
One of them. Just take them.
And you can't forget the little, crocodile texture. There's just everything about those. The high and the low were just perfect. And got to keep in mind, we're going to talk about shoes here where there has been a re-release or a reimagining where it's a high top or was a low top, that kind of stuff. So we won't get too in the weeds with that. But people forget that the other cornerstone of SB and sneaker collecting culture, the pigeon dunk, cool. You think the pigeon, it's a double entendre. So it's like, yeah, that pigeon means Jeff Staple pigeon, but it's also like pigeon being the unofficial street animal of New York.
Yep.
So the street creature. They're in a constant power struggle with rats for New York.
It's a secret war going on.
Secret war, yeah. Team Iron Man versus Team Cat. That's a whole other thing. That's like Invasion. It's like Scrolls, right?
Yeah, Secret War Scrolls, yeah.
Yeah, whole other thing. Man, take my geek card away from me.
Hey, nah, you circle back around. You got it. It's okay.
But, man, those are just – ugh. I mean, we've all seen the magazine headlines, but when it comes to storytelling, Jeff Staple is a mastercraft storyteller. And, I may not wear Staple Pigeon, but all of his collections have his special touch to it. And those shoes, along with the Panda Dunks, just have just the right amount of Jeff essence to it. Such good shoes.
Yeah, that was just a clean one. Next on my list is one of the newer dunks. This was during the time where dunks were not popular at all. And I swear I think you probably could have got these on sale. You could have got them probably at a Marshall's if you got lucky. But the Dunk Low Crawfish. Now, me being from the South, I mean, springtime, summertime, we are always breaking out the crawfish pot, doing a little crawfish boil, and they did these like spectacular, like the red, the yellow, the insole having the newspaper that you put down to put the crawfish shells on. I mean, talk about theme done right, and it was just at a time where nobody wanted dunks like that, and I slapped myself for not buying them.
I slapped myself twice. I bought them for like, I want to say sub $60.
I know it, dude. Easy.
Right? And then I sold them like 2 years later, or maybe a year later, without the original box. So they're on the hash wall. I think I sold them for what I paid for them, like $60-$70.
$300 now.
I fucked up on that one. I mean,
like that's me.
I sold a lot of SB Dunks when I moved to Portland in 2015. And that was the worst time to sell SB Dunks. I lost. It's funny. I didn't lose it because I never had it. But when I look at what's selling now, it's like, you mother. God.
At the time, you're like, I just need to liquidate.
Man, I didn't have the space. I didn't have the money to move.
Yeah.
And I'll keep referencing Soul Supremacy. They're saying his life's greater than shoes. So It's like, hey, man, these got to go. I mean, it's funny because I also sold stuff like the Yeezy foams, like both colorways, the pink foams, the crimson foams. And those, I got good money for those at that time.
You had all the foams.
Man, I don't own one pair of foam posits now, and it feels weird. But shout out to Wale. He made me love foam posits, man. It wasn't Penny Hardaway. It was Wale.
Dude, the Nike boot song itself in what, 2012? No, 2008?
07. Yeah.
07, yeah. Maybe it was 07. Yeah.
I'm still in my Nike boots. But no, I missed out on so much money in my life from selling Kobe's too early, which knowing he died, I wouldn't have sold them, period, because I wouldn't have made the money now. Mm-hmm. But timing's very important. Speaking of another shoe you could have gotten for super cheap, I know this for a damn fact, is the 2016 Chicken and Waffle. I had to put that on here. Dunk, SB Dunk High. Mm-hmm. It had like a syrup-looking swoosh. Obviously, waffle print going through it. Dope insole. Nobody wanted those things, man. I'm pretty sure they're still not very cool. But when it comes to an inspired shoe, what's more literal than that pair?
Dude, they hit you in the nose with it. It's perfect. My little brother bought those. He's out in the Bay Area right now, I don't think he got them for expensive either. I think he got them off a hash wall at like a Nike outlet out there. Dude, they are so. What's the word I'm looking for? They're so tacky that they're good.
It's funny because. Those came out when 2016. So 4 years later, they're so tacky, they're good. But 4 years later, they were just tacky.
Yeah. I mean, and then also compared to what we're looking at this Ben and Jerry's, and like, I would much rather wear a waffle shoe than this, I don't know, Frankenstein looking thing that you guys.
There's been a lot of just, out there freaking shoes. And I said this, like, what's more literal than that chicken and waffle? We're going to get to more literal shoes on this list. But it just kind of goes to show that SB Dunks really do cover every spectrum, from like having the logo of the collaborator or the inspirer to just being purely speculative through a nickname years later. They can go any way. And this, when it's done right, you can see a shoe like the Iron Man Dunk or the Spider-Man SB mid, or I'm pretty sure there's been a Batman one. Yep. There's a Batman mid too. The Hulk, there was a Hulk Dunk High, one of the OGs, I want to say 2003, 2004. There's a dunk pair. Purple Avengers aren't like the Avengers. But
it's a weird cousin, but they're still a good looking shoe.
Yeah, right. Like none of those shoes say the names of the superhero, but they're just done so well that the inspiration's obvious. It's like good art, right? You don't have to tell anybody, hey, these are good. You just look at them and you're just like, oh, this is good.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the truth. Shoot. And speaking of one just done well, like storytelling and everything, the 2015 release of the Dunk Low Dorothy. This is one of those other ones. There's actually 3 dunks I saw in the Marshalls, and I didn't buy because I was heavy LeBron, heavy Kobe buying stage, and it was the crawfish, the Dorothy's, and then the Premier, the salmon ladders. Saw them all in the Marshalls. Never bought them. I was saving my money for other stuff. But the Dorothy was so cool because the toe box started off black. So, the Wizard of Oz starts off black and white. Then it fades into the actual color of the blue dress, the red sock liner because of the red shoes, because the movie goes to Technicolor. I mean, that's literal storytelling right there. If you know Wizard of Oz, you knew what that was about.
Yeah. I mean, I completely forgot that shoe came out. And
it was forgotten so quick.
2015 was a weird time. I guess it's like not just 2015, but 14 through 17. It's like a black hole of SB dunks. There's so many of them. Here's another one. So I guess it's 2 of them. So Anonymous Skate Shop. I believe they are in Cincinnati. But they did a 2-pack, a high and a low, representing the Cincinnati Reds and Oakland A's from, I think, the 1990 World Series. Some baseball fans are going to hate on me super hard, but I don't like baseball. My bad. But the shoes came out in 2015, and I guess, like you were saying earlier, green and yellow isn't for everybody. But that shoe pops, and the Reds-inspired one pops super hard. Those were 2 extremely good SB dunks that just released at the wrong time.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can even push it back far. I think between 2013 possibly to 2017 just was not a good time, because 2012, I remember the Petowski? I can never say it right, so excuse me if I killed it. But I remember me and my buddy were in Austin during South by Southwest, and they had 1 size left in them, but they were such a dope shoe. And they started with the low and they redid it in a high. But anything after that was just meh. There's so many good ones that I wish I could have got for just under retail. Or just, again, we all have those different stages of what we're buying. We can't buy it all. So if I'm saving for one thing, I can't go buy all this other stuff.
And nothing kicks us in the ass like the shoes we didn't buy.
All the time, man.
All of it. But I mean, it's just, to go on a little tangent here, we talk about the power of storytelling and how much we love when storytelling is done right. And all these things center around storytelling. And if the line or the shoe or the vibe isn't popular, it doesn't matter what story you're telling. It's not going to be flying off the shelves. It's going to show up at a Marshall's.
Yeah.
You can see stuff, and I guess that happens every year. You can find Valentine's Day stuff in April. You can find Christmas stuff in February, et cetera, et cetera. So it's the inspiration, the stuff that's heavily inspired by something that might be a little offbeat. Let's say anything not Travis Scott right now, to be funny. But it calls for a certain person to want that product, to be called to by that collaboration or by that inspiration. So when the vibe isn't there and people aren't looking for that story and aren't being called towards the product, you can find some heaters, and power to those people who are now reaping the benefits of buying all these 2014 to 2017 SB dunks that they got for $30 and selling them for $300.
I don't want to sell them. The thing is, I don't think I probably would have sold 1 or 2 of them if I got them. But typically, I like to keep them. Those shoes, I can't remember what I was listening to, but you made a good point that SB dunks are actually one of the most well-made shoes. I don't see many dunks when people pull old ones out of the collection that are separating at the sole or too discolored. They're typically wearable because they, like the person said I was listening to, they're made to take a beating. And it's crazy.
The fact that the air unit is internal and there's what it comes down to, there's no external air unit, which makes shoes last longer just from the jump. And if you hold on to them right and you haven't skated them to death, like you said, they're going to hold up very well. So here's one shoe that definitely held up well if you have a pair, and you're a flat-out gangster if you have a pair. You're actually a lightsaber-wielding gangster. So I'm talking about the Jedi SB Dunks from 2004. what else do we need to say? Green lightsaber is the best lightsaber color. Sorry, Obi-Wan. But give me that Qui-Gon lightsaber any day.
Mace Windu's son, purple.
Purple. I mean, I always thought that was weird. I'm like,
That's why he was just a weird guy.
it was cool though. I mean, it's a dope lightsaber, but purple just never felt dope to me. Green, the Jedi junk. It's another one of those shoes, like we alluded to with the superheroes. You don't have to put freaking Star Wars George Lucas suck my butt. It's Star Wars. You're gonna buy this on it, but just the storytelling and just. I almost need to Google what inspiration literally says in Webster, because I feel like these are close to defining what inspiration is without directly referencing.
Yeah, didn't they have another one in that pack as well? I mean, they had the lightsaber. Didn't they also have like a tauntaun? It was a high, wasn't it? It's like the little animal that Luke Skywalker rode on Hoth on Empire Strikes Back. You're welcome, nerd.
I am pretty damn sure there was something like that. I know a lot about SBs. I would say as an SB historian, I'm at like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. I am definitely not elite when it comes to SB knowledge. But I think there was a second one. You're onto something there. I mean, we can keep going old school. So California Dunk, the original from 2004. Mm-hmm. Another shoe that's been reimagined as a high top. You have stuff like the De La Soul from 2005. These are like the most popular dunks ever. But, you know, music inspiration, I mean, the Slayer dunks, I'm pretty sure those said Slayer on them.
Yeah, the Iron Maidens.
Iron Maiden. I think I meant to say Iron Maiden, but I said Slayer.
Okay.
See, I mean, just like, you know, whatever it might be. But those have, respectively, the literal California flag on them. And what De La Soul album is that? I don't even know what De La Soul album is.
I wouldn't even lie to you. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, you look at like, oh, if you're a De La Soul fan, you're going to know the album cover.
Someone listening like, these two ain't hip-hop.
I said, sorry, guys. Look, I knew what a tauntaun was. What do you want from me?
We're not perfect. But those shoes were just so – and that's what made people keep falling in love after the Tiffany and after the Jeff Staple. Like, it wasn't just, oh, these are two super dick. Oh, my God. They're not. I look up to both those people. Super dope collabs, man, or super dope inspired shoes. What have they done for us, you know, lately? Like, what do they keep doing? And they kept doing it. In 2003, let's take it back 1 year before the Cali, the Heineken dunk. Probably one of the more popular dunks in existence. All you have to have it is a green dunk with a little red star on the back, and you know the business. Like, what's better? This is rhetorical. I truly do think there's better than SBs when it comes to collabs. Just the way they do their business, man. Whether it's a collab, whether it's something they saw when they were, whatever designer was watching movies the night before, you know, whatever it could be. Using influences external of footwear and external of sport, nobody's done it better than SB.
Yeah, and there's one that's not even like a collaboration. I can't remember what year it came out, but the coffee dunk, dude, it looks like you're actually mixing, like when you pour a coffee or a cream in a coffee where it like swirls, it's the exact colorway. Like if you look at it, it looks like coffee.
Man, that's such a dope shoe.
Dude, it's so clean. I was just kind of like, man, I mean, that was definitely way before I was really like into dunks. So I was like, man, I wish I would have known back then. It would have been hard to get, but still.
I mean, so let's just keep food and drink on the table. So we have those. We have, the Heinekens. I'm pretty sure there's a Guinness dunk, too.
Yeah, just
Newcastle. The Newcastle dunk. But there's a Tecate dunk from like 2012. Or maybe it was 2010. I think it was 2011. Let's split the difference. But the Tecate High. Mm-hmm. There was the Stussy Cherry dunk, which is another all-time banger from 2005.
Cold pizza. Does it look like the foil paper?
Yep, cold pizzas. Man, those is another one that just got, swept up in the tide and no one really heard about.
That was definitely another one that you can find in one of those like outlet stores, just hanging around.
Right. And then, after you're done drinking, you're probably going to want to like sit down and smoke. So you have like all the weed shoes, you know, the dog walkers, the shoe of all shoes, the skunk, which is actually a collaboration. I'm gonna sound like an idiot because I forget who did the collab, but it's not just a skunk shoe. There's I want to say it's a designer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I did research like 2 weeks ago on Dunks, and I already forgot. But I learned that what's more obvious than just like a fuzzy, suggestively green and purple shoe?
I mean, you can even go further. Cheech and Chong, you can burn the shoe and it turns green.
That was next on the list. So the Cheech and Chong's from 2011. I saw the Perfect Pair post a pair a couple days ago. And that's top 5 for me, man. Like Tommy Chong and Cheech are like the stoner of stoners. I respect their game. Let's put it that way. So the bandana, like you rip it and it's bandana underneath the white.
That's what it is. Okay, I couldn't remember what happens when you like rip it or burn it, something. Yeah. It's
green. I want to say friends and family turn green.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Not all of them. That could just be fake news, but I'm pretty sure they either do both or it's one or the other.
Okay.
But you're onto something there. And I mean, speaking of scratch away, it's like the Statue of Liberty dunks. They were those green, and when you scratch them or, you know, properly skate them like you've been doing, they had that bronze, you know, I'm trying to think of science words. Oxidized.
So don't they start bronze and turn green, right? Because that's what happens. Yeah.
It's like, man, I definitely did not do hot in science growing up. But no, you scratch it and it turns green. It's like, damn, dude, that's like great storytelling. That's great inspiration. And with those, it's like if you're a New Yorker or you're, I don't know, really into like national treasures, you see that green and you think of the Statue of Liberty. But it's the opposite of obvious. It's super, super low key. So here's one that is not obvious, not low key, super obvious, and it's another top 5 dunk for me. Mainly because there's cats involved. The money cat from the money cat's fucking gangster. I mean, I think of any good Chinese restaurant, they better have a money cat in the front. I'm just saying. I'm not eating that.
I mean, I was looking through that one today. It was so crazy because we were actually in we're in Chinatown some months back, and then little money cats, and I just thought about this shoe. I'm like, man, they nailed that right, like 100% perfect.
You know what would have been cool? Ron Artest had panda shoes where it had like a panda head popping out the top, and then Jeremy Scott did a panda, and all the Jeremy Scotts are crazy. But what I'm getting to is, it would have been really cool if the money cats had the arm coming out of the side of it, like the money cat.
Oh, yeah.
It would have made no sense. It would not have been skatable. It would not have been cool, but it would have been really catchy and campy, and I'm all for those kinds of things. I mean, speaking of campy, Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man. Haven't heard those names in a while, have you?
Dude, you took the words right out of my mouth because those are two that were – it was all about the color blocking, and you say the names, you're like, yep, that's it. Like, no one's going to argue like, no, it doesn't look like that. 100% does.
As Frank Cook says, kid on the come up. Here's my kid on the come up moment. In like 2011, I want to say, I had the opportunity to buy the Miss Pac-Mans for like $325, right in that range. And I was in college, and that's like all of my food money for like 2 months. So I was like, oh man, I can't buy those. And now it's like, oh dude, I would have bought those like in like literally 10 minutes ago if I had an opportunity to buy those.
Right now I would have done it.
Yeah, right now I would have done it, man. I got money now. But it's just like the shoes that you don't buy will haunt you. I think about those Miss Pac-Mans, and they make me angry. Miss Pac-Man is supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to be fun.
They make me, dude. That's how I feel. I told you, the one that just kept passing up in the, early 2010s. I'm like, that literally would have been like $100 on my pocket for 3 of those shoes, and now they're each in their own respective right worth $200 to $300 plus.
I mean, yeah. I mean, here's another shoe. I mean, video game inspired still. The Eric Costin, Chung Lee, SB Dunk Low, the royal blue with the Chung Lee drawing on the insole. Those, another shoe I had a chance to get, at resale, but it was like $200. It was like nothing. And those are legitimately a real grail of mine. If you have a dead stock or a good pair of size 12 to 13, and either the Thai Temple Costins
yes.
or the Chung Lees, bro, get at me. Like, I need those shoes.
Were they official like Capcom collaboration?
They had to clear some kind of licensing because it was straight up a picture of Chung Lee on the insole.
Yeah.
So, was it Capcom? Yeah, Capcom. Yeah, something happened with Capcom. But speaking of the high top version, I had a chance to buy those. I think like $250. Didn't buy them. Mother,
This is a therapy session, bro. We're like, crap.
This is just angry venting at shoes I did not get.
Speaking in the same kind of like cartoon comic book realm, the Dunk Low Skeletors from 2011. Those are just pop. Just like the Pac-Mans, they pop. That teal on like the mud guards and everything with the purple. Dude, if was I able to get a fresh pair now, no question.
I mean, even if they're not fresh pairs at this point, you pretty much
They don't want to smell bad.
Right. I mean, as long as they're not completely beat, it's going to happen. Now, here's a pair that you probably can only find beat. Rest in peace, Robin Williams, Mork and Mindy's. If you had Nick at Night growing up, or you're just an older listener, Mork and Mindy was this bonker shit. Like Robin Williams, all the sounds he would make, the characters he would make, half the time made sense by not making sense. They were just so completely out there. It worked. And Mork and Mindy is some of my favorite work. That bright red freaking jumpsuit with the silver, this craziness.
Well, staying in that Nick at Night category, I mean, we don't know what his real life's about, but we know it's Dr. Huxtable. Cosby Show was one of those shows you would watch all the time, and the Huxtable dunk was a dope looking shoe. It took inspiration from those crazy sweaters he would wear.
We can't talk about that, Mike.
See, like Dr. Huxtable, he was a fake person. I don't know what this other man doing. Like I can't say I know what's up with him.
I can't. That's something I cannot argue. It's like, okay, Dr. Huxtable, wholesome. Bill Cosby is like this next shoe, Freddy Krueger.
Transition.
Right. Freddy Krueger dunks, man. I believe they never released. That's just one of the shoes. It's like, well, fuck it. I mean, we're never going to get a pair. So like whether released in limited quantities or there was it was never general, whether it was a super hyper dunk, hyper strike, whatever it might be. Those are the number one SB dunk for me of all time. Just looking at it, they scare me.
Well, I think they got slapped with a lawsuit, same as the Heineken dunks, where they couldn't release because they didn't get clearance. That's why I asked about the Chung Lees, because they were just kind of like the Wild West back then, man, just slinging designs everywhere.
Didn't Concepts try to do a Gucci?
We
try to do a Gucci dunk.
Sounds right. I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Somebody help us out, listeners. Leave a comment with who did the Gucci dunk that like kind of released, but then got pulled super fast. Something like that.
Speaking of Concepts, there's two. You can't leave without talking about two their dunks, and one's going to be Everything Lobster, and then Everything Ugly Sweater. I think both of those are executed so well every time they come out.
Man, there's the Grail ones too. Those are dope.
Oh yeah, the Holy Grails, which sat in freaking stores. I remember it was the dunk high with the stained glass, the dunk low that was the iridescent. Oh my God, why didn't I buy those for dirt cheap?
Right? That's a really difficult wear though. Like mismatched tongues, all about it. Super bright, iridescent, silvery pink. Ooh, In concept, that's a really good idea, and photos looking really good. But on foot, I couldn't do it. I mean, I wanted to wrap up on concepts also. I mean, so 08, 09, 2018. You have the uber rare ones like the green and the yellow, which yellow didn't even release, but they exist on Earth. Purple, blue, green, red, yellow. I want to say those are probably the most ambitious release of an SB Dunk with inspiration, because who the hell puts a rubber band on a shoe? Like
A baller.
a baller, dude. Like, that's such a weird and accurate accessory to put on a shoe. And it's like WTF. It's when you think about it, it's a WTF moment. When you look at it, it's like, well, why is that there? And then you look at the shoe in depth and you see the kind of the lobster print. I don't look at lobsters up close very often, but I guess that's the print on a lobster. If you're intimate with lobsters or you're a chef and you see lobsters all the time, let us know if that's an accurate representation of lobster shell. But just crazy, man. Other are dope, but the lobsters are just like they're head scratchers.
Well, even with the box, like if you got the special box that looked like a cooler, and it came like you bought a lobster from the grocery store. It was just to take it full circle, man.
It's brilliance. Concepts is definitely one of those places that does fine work, even with other brands. I'm pretty sure they have collabs with other.
Oh yeah, shoes. They're pretty solid collabs. I mean, when it comes to New Balance, Adidas, you know what they can. I have not seen one I just didn't like from Concept, so shout out to them for just putting the time and effort to make everything just legit.
Of all the shoes we've spoken about, what are 3 that you're taking?
Me? Oh, I'm taking are going to be the Skeletor. Is going to be any of the lobsters as dealer's choice, and have a tough one because I want to say Jedi, but then I want to say Pigeon. I'm going to get crucified for this, but I think I'm going to go Jedi over Pigeon just because I'm a big Star Wars fan.
That's insane that you would still go. What's the first shoe you picked? It was so forgettable, I forgot.
So I went Skeletor, any of the lobsters, and then probably Jedi.
You're going Skeletor of all the shoes we've spoken about.
Yeah, dude, I really like that. I'm very big on colors, and that shoe I love the colors on that one. That was like the first one I wrote down on the list.
We need a drug test on Mike. Because I'm going Freddy Krueger and 2 pairs of Tiffany's.
Nah, you gotta pick a third one. You took the easy way out. What's the third one?
I want 1 pair to wear and 1 pair to stare, just to stare at them. If I can't double up, Freddy, Tiffany, and I have to say Money Cat.
Money Cat, okay.
Kitty. Anything with cats, I'm with it.
I think they need to collaborate on just a cat shoe one day.
Man, any brands out there, big or small, I will do a cat collaboration. My cat will be the inspiration. It'll be a beautiful shoe.
Let's get an on-runner shoe inspired by Tony.
On Tony. She's so big you can ride on my cat. But all right, you cool cats and kittens. Let's end with the most played catchphrase on freaking earth. That's all we got tonight, man.
Yeah.
It's got Jordan talk, but a lot of SB talk. Listeners, what shoes inspire you? Let's flip that around so it makes sense. What inspired, all the inspired words. Well, I don't know what I'm trying to say now. It's been a late day. I'm tired.
Which ones y'all like?
What inspired SB Dunks do you love? Which 3 would you pick? Anything on the topic. Talk to us about it. Leave us a DM. Go send Mike some medicine to get his head checked out.
Hey, look, man. I got 2 very, very solid ones on top. They got one I got to be able to beat.
Man. See, I have to ask you a third time to what shoe it was because it's so forgettable. I forgot a third time.
Terrible. Hate. That's all I see.
International Haters Ball.
There we go.
All right. Well, everybody, go follow Patreon. Go join Patreon. Go listen to our Patreon once you've joined. Go do that. Support us. Helps Nick a lot. Helps all of us. But do us a solid. Check out the website. We're renovating it. It looks damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Nick for the work he's put in on that. I'm Robbie. You can find me at Robbie702. I'm not going to spell it out this time. Mike, where can they find you?
Yeah, find me at MadWatcher789.
Whoop. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. And I hope y'all have a great day, night, evening, whenever time of the day you're listening to this. But have a good one.
Oof. Yes, sir.
Bye now.
Bye.
What up, y'all? This is Nick again. First, I wanted to thank you for listening to the Sneaker History Podcast. It really means a lot that you would spend a part of your day rocking with us. Before you take off, I wanted to ask a few favors. If you're looking for more content from the Sneaker History crew, head over to patreon.com/sneakerhistory. Our Patreon members get access to exclusive episodes of the podcast, our latest merch, giveaways, and much more. You can become a member for as little as $5 a month, and it really goes a long way supporting the crew. Next, make sure you're signed up for our email newsletter. We share updates about the footwear business, some of our favorite finds and deals, and other sneaker-related news a couple times per week. I like to think of it as a one-stop shop for the sneaker game, or at least a work-in-progress one-stop shop for the sneaker game, if you know what I mean. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. Whether online or in person, social distancing in effect, of course, it helps make the sneaker community a better place, and you never know what conversation and opportunity might come from it. As always, we appreciate you, and we'll catch you next time. Peace. Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.